speaking of successful consoles, we have a decent update for the Intellivision Amico.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on with the Amico lately, and an entity called Happy Home Games.
So if you go to Happy Home Games right now, you might ask yourself, well, what is this? What is this cheap art on here? It's like Little House on Heart. All for fun and fun for all. HappyHomeGames.com. There's nothing there yet. And then if you learn that this is a new like LLC entity that was created in order to publish the old Intellivision Amico games on Steam and for like modern consoles. They came up with a new
Switch, yeah, and all that. What's interesting about this is, well, not only the further, moving away from the Amico brand, but folks are wondering if this is kind of a way to maybe get around some of the contractual stuff, because
like the investor stuff,
like the investor stuff,
for getting a percentage of sales,
right? Not that anyone thinks that they're going to get it anymore, but moving it under a different shell and having them publish that, I think I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be this conspiratorial about other stuff, but I feel like it's a way to put that money someplace where it can't be touched by Amico nonsense.
Well, I don't know if good old Phil Adam, the I guess he's the COO of it, or it was a CEO. Well, first of all, he hasn't had an update on Republic since December of 2024. It's been a year and a half, and there's nothing about this on there. Either way, I don't know at this point, since Phil Adams cannibalized the library, he sold off bits and pieces of it to other entities. I have no idea at this point if he's still working at all, or this is just John Alvarado, the engineer with the mustache, that's doing all this.
Right. And they have said that Tommy is still with the company. That's actually been something that's been said multiple times lately.
Where have you seen that at?
Oh, if you scroll down, that was about 6 days ago. Someone asked what happened to Tommy, and someone else said Tommy went back to VGL Performances after he left the company. Then Amico Entertainment checkmark says, make sure to check out the video. He is still at the company. He is the president and our chief creative officer. So that it was actually
where was that
announced.
Posted?
That's on the message. That's on the Amico Reddit.
Someone replied on there.
No, that was probably in the Discord or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But they did announce. They did have a video that I did not see where I think it was maybe John Alvarado talking to like someone, one of those people.
Oh, like a YouTuber?
Yeah, on a stream, and people are asking about Tommy, and he said no, Tommy is still with the company.
Whatever that company means, because it's just it's literally like a PO box.
And I think we've all always kind of thought that he was still probably attached to it somehow
legally, you think?
Yeah, legally, but it's been confirmed, and I mean.
Why? But still, I guess.
Right.
So they sent out an email again, not to the Republic investors. Screw them. Screw Holly and her dogs. Amico Entertainment Spring Update 2025. As spring flowers bloom, so do new developments at Amico Entertainment. We're thrilled to share exciting updates and new ways to enjoy our games. Happy springtime to everyone in the Northern Hemisphere. Happy autumn to all of our friends down under. Shut the
yeah.
At Amico, we are dedicated to our mission of bringing family and friends together.
That part makes it sound weirdly like AI generated.
It might be. At Amico, we are dedicated to our mission of bringing families and friends together with simple, affordable family entertainment. Safe. Remember Safe, Ian?
I sure do.
We are actively progressing with our phase plan to eventually manufacture Amico hardware. I'm sorry. And we have some good...
I feel like they are legally obligated.
I'm sorry. That's just funny to me.
Yes.
We are actively progressing with our phase plan to eventually manufacture Amico hardware, and we have some good news to share about the current phase of the plan, building financial stability. It's good that you established the need to build financial stability after you fucking took and swindled $17 million reportedly.
It's just what I love about this is it's the same sort of shit that is this is such a good update because it's the same sort of shit that has always defined the Amico. Him saying We're proud to announce the next phase of producing hardware, building financial stability. To me, that's the same sort of meaningless update that the remaining fans will cling on to. That reminds me of Tommy being like, "And good news for the new year. We have now entered formal production." It's
bullshit.
Like, yeah.
If you had any care about financial stability, you wouldn't have rented out multiple offices that were way too big and then leased furniture, or you end up getting sued because you couldn't pay to lease that fucking office furniture, and just wasted so much fucking money. You wasted millions of dollars all over the place. You had bad contracts, remember, with ARC manufacturer, where like you couldn't get the money back, and you just fucking just children. They're cosplaying running an electronics company. A CEO cosplaying, bringing his Han and Carbonite into his office to pretend that I'm a big boy running a company. All this money just down the shitter. Awful loans, awful salaries given out to your CEOs. All this shit where
I just love how this is why and
just all. I mean, sorry, it's infuriating when
people, and this is not to defend Tommy. This is to say that Tommy is very dumb.
Yes,
but what I'm saying next, I don't. There are people out there who believe that this was meant to be a scam through and through, and it clearly wasn't. It was not always intended to be a scam. Did it get scammy? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it was not always intended to be, because no one puts down $1.5 million or $10.5 million or whatever it is to reserve a manufacturing line just to piss it away. He believed his bullshit.
I don't think it was that much, but it was a significant amount.
It was a significant. It was a million. Maybe it was 1.5.
Yeah, it was It was low seven figures, okay. I believe.
It was probably 1.5. Yeah. I just remember when we were going through that. Yeah. You can see where that loss is. Yeah. But you don't do that unless you're huffing your own farts.
There was too much stupidity of getting. Remember that pressing machine?
Yeah, and the tumbler.
That these things cost tens of thousands of dollars, and you did not need them.
That's not decoration that you need for a scam. The office, I get, but like all that stuff, no, it's because he thought he was really doing big boy stuff.
Yes. And of course that tries to hook investors. Hey, here's our machine pressing a button, when there's industry grade plastics where you know what the pressure is and what the repeat, like you don't
that's also something that even companies like Sony, I'm assuming, license out. Like I would be surprised.
You would probably send something to a place to do the testing.
I would be surprised if Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo are doing those tests in-house. Maybe they are, but I would be surprised. That to me seems like there is a center where this is what people do all day, and all of the companies just send their shit to that.
Or the piece, or they go to suppliers where the pieces are individually already stress tested before you get them. That's part of, you know what I mean? Like when you buy the supply of buttons and D-pads, those have been pre-stress tests.
Everything he did that was intended to make him look real, and like because he always used to say, and he would get like real intense about it, we are a real console manufacturer.
Sure.
Like, okay, you're just going to keep saying that until it's the truth, right?
Until one's manufactured and in people's hands, then you can't count the handmade prototype.
Every bit of the costume he bought just exposed himself further.
Of course. Leaping to new platforms, and there's a picture of Finnegan Fox, and I guess looks like an owl from Finnegan Fox. We are super excited to announce that we are launching the first of several games on the Nintendo eShop for Nintendo Switch and on Steam, trademarked for PCs in June.
A rape console. These games could not be. What I'm really curious about is
if you're into games with blood and violence and sexual content and kids in sexual compromising positions and rape on the Nintendo, if that's what you want, then buy a Switch.
So in addition to that, they're fine releasing those games on there now.
Switch.
But let's not forget how angry, and like he would actually yell about this when this was the stuff that always got under his skin the most, because it was obvious bullshit.
Yes.
But we were told that none of these games were playable on anything but the Intellivision Amico.
One of the few public spats we had with him on social media was one or both of us saying, please tell me why your version of Missile Command could not be played on the Switch. And he insisted that, you cannot play this on the Switch. And there's no fucking reason why like it was all made up in his head. Obviously,
yeah, he did not think any. Well, we already know this. He didn't think anything through, and he didn't think about the reality of exclusives. He didn't think about the reality of gimmicks and how they can all be boiled down to a button on a controller or whatever. And yeah. So
that over-engineered, awful controller, that monstrosity of design.
We are here now at the spot that we suggested.
Well, it's 5 years ago.
All the way back when. It feels like longer than 5 years ago.
How much?
Feels like a decade.
How much non-paid consulting did we do to this company, for this company that was not listened to, that should have been?
To completely fall apart and then finally decide, oh, maybe we should do that thing where we publish our games on systems and see how people like them.
Publish your games on systems that people already own tens of millions of, and then see if they like the games.
And
what
games
a novel concept.
Games of this size, there is no reason for games of this size to not just be thrown up on Steam.
You don't mean like literally thrown up like puked up, but that's what they are.
But yeah, just throw them up there. Like there's no reason for it.
Okay, so the first games are Cornhole, my Cornhole.
No longer with that very, very important license.
Which license was that?
It was supposed to have the American Cornhole League license.
Oh yeah, I think
they had it at one point in time, just like they had MLB licenses.
I think there's a sponsored cornhole game you can get now.
There is.
That's a real one.
I laughed when I saw it because it came out and it's not the Intellivision one.
Yeah. Evil Knievel, which was the free mobile app that's still on my phone, which I don't think they took it off the App Store a few years ago, and Finnegan Fox, which is the pre-existing reskinned
Fox and
Forest, which was a pixel art game that they made to like a Unity shiny graphic game that doesn't have any appeal to me anymore when I look at that.
Yep.
So check out what's coming soon. Check out the coming soon pages for Evil Knievel and Finnegan Fox on Steam. You can sign up and get notified when they go live. You can download the demos right now and play these, by the way.
The demos did not seem to be getting much traction, according to a little graph that was on here from on the Intellivision Reddit. They have been played. The most concurrent players was 4 for one of them and 2 for the other. And the thing is, on the Amico Reddit, there's people in the thread saying I played them. So I think there is a very real possibility that at least 50%, if not the majority of downloads, are by people who have that car crash curiosity. They want to download it to see how bad it is. They're not downloading it to actually decide if they're going to buy the full thing.
They're hate fucking these Amico games, basically? Okay.
Yes. That is what they are doing.
Well, a sale's a sale, right, Tommy? Right, John?
Well, these are just demos. There's no sale here.
The demos, you're right. You're right. I actually would... So if this got approved for Switch, that means that means someone at Switch, they have to QA these games before they can't just throw up any slop. They have to make sure they work with the motion controls.
Well, I don't know if you've seen what the eShop looks like, but there is like no quality control.
Oh, there isn't?
No. So I highly doubt there was anyone at Nintendo, making notes and asking them to fix anything. I'm fairly certain it's just going to play like fucking trash. I actually kind of want to try it. I just refuse to spend money on it.
As someone that's played Evil Knievel on my phone when it was available for free, which is why I always say it's a free mobile game that they then undid off of the store because they were embarrassed, I think, or maybe they forgot it was a free mobile game. It's literally you can look at the trailer online. You have horizontal 2D courses, and you have to balance with your phone. You have your speed, and you go around loop the loops. You have to land it's like Excite Bike on your phone, but worse, but a lot worse. And then
I like those types of games.
Ragdoll sort of physics. Your Evil Knievel could fly around, and you unlock more cycles that are faster, and you unlock suits. That's the game. I played it for 25 minutes. I'm like, oh, this is cute. Yes, it's cute when I'm not paying $300 for a console plus $20 for the game. It's cute as a free game.
Those are fun games. Trials HD came out in 2009. Okay? Like this.
Here's a let's play while you talk. I'll load it up.
Trials is the ultimate version of this type of game. There's multiple versions of it, and it's been out forever. There's nothing.
Don't need that.
There's nothing going on in this game that's going to make people.
No, it was a free game.
They're a dime a dozen.
It's a free game.
Yeah.
I don't want
physics racers got very popular, and they're fun, but
I don't want the Game Center. I don't need the.
But you don't really need to pull it up. It's fine.
Download the demo and check it out yourself.
So, and then Finnegan Fox, I was reading some impressions of the demo. I was going to, but really, guys, I just can't be bothered to fucking do this Amico shit anymore.
It seems like it seems like a fine action little
Someone said
platformer.
it was, well, every review I've ever seen of Fox and Forest is that looks nice, game is fine.
Yeah.
It's not great, it's not bad.
Sure.
You know, the demo for this one, they said, you know, the graphics change is not good. They said it felt easy. The level, I think, was like 11 minutes long, and they could only use the winter the winter season change
to create like ice bridges.
Yeah, or whatever. And they said like 80% of the puzzles in the demo relied on that, and it was, you know, it was what it was.
Sure.
It worked, but it's, again, as we've said, and as we know, none of this is ever going to raise the needle on the dial.
Introducing Happy Home Games. Our Nintendo Switch and Steam games are published by a new sister company called Happy Home Games. While we share a similar mission, the purpose of Happy Home Games is to adapt Amico games for other... Adapt them. This is really... Adapt Amico games for other consoles and PCs, bringing family-friendly fun to more of your favorite gaming platforms. We will continue to publish new games and reimagined Intellivision registered trademark titles on Amico Home and Amico Console. Happy Home Games will customize games from our non-Intellivision Amico library to use the native controllers of the target platforms, as opposed to Amico controllers like on Amico Home. So finally, you mean like putting buttons on the face for like Astro Smash? You don't have to like hook up, a second controller or a second phone to your phone to play a game, which is crazy for simple arcade games. They're finally going to do that? Is that what that means? Because that's actually like an adaptation. Okay, so they got Astro Smash, Missile Command, Shark, Side Swipers, First Look Still, Rigid Force Redux, Enhance, Dart Frenzy, Cornhole. So that's the 7 they have there. And then Amico Home on Apple TV, Google TV, Amazon Fire Stick. No one's going to play these on any of those platforms because there's like 50 downloads at most for one of these games.
I mean, the player base for those platforms is already small.
Sure.
We are in a time where I don't think people really need to play games on a Fire Stick anymore. You can play them on fucking anything.
If Cornhole's $5 on the Switch, I might buy it.
It's not. I know that Finnegan Fox and Evel Knievel are slated to be 15. So Cornhole is going to be 15.
If it was $5, I want to see.
They're supposed to be 15 on Steam too. It's going to be $15 everywhere.
If it was $5, I would have bought it to see how well it reacts to the controller. Probably terribly.
I would spend the $5. I will not spend the 15.
I will not. It says I'll not spend $15.
Happy Home Games. You want to send me a review code?
Yeah, I will. Because that was as killer of an app there was going to be on the console was Cornhole. When does Cornhole come out? Is there a date for that? Is there a page? Is there a Switch page for Cornhole?
I don't think so.
By the way, there are Cornhole games as part of like a couple of compilations of other games on the Switch. There's like party pack games you can play, so you don't have to buy this version. You can buy.
There's even an Intellivision Cornhole game.
Oh, you mean the homebrew one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can get ACL Pro Cornhole for Nintendo Switch. Speaking of that, the license, there's that one. And you can also get, there is an official site for it now. Oh my God. And it's just called Cornhole. There's a Switch site with an Amico game. That's so weird. And you can get something called Party Arcade. I think like Cornhole's one of the games on that pack. Wow. There's a landing page. This releases on 6/19/25, $14.99. Oh my God. There's a Nintendo Switch landing page for this fucking game. Unbelievable. And it's just literally called Cornhole. Toss beanbags onto the board or into the hole to score in this fun party game. Supports 1 to 4 players with optional AI players. Fun for the whole family.
You know, regardless of what Tommy said in the past, right now he's like, "See, we got our games on the Switch. That's big time. We're on a Nintendo system."
Do you think he'll come back and say that?
I think he will spin it whatever the fucking way he wants to because he's obviously not done self-reflection.
Publisher Happy Home Games. You click on that. I guess it probably shows. What does it show with that? It shows the 3 games. Evel Knievel is going to be $15 on the Switch. There's literally free games when you boot up any like Android TV or like Netflix has games that are like part of the service that are like Evel Knievel. You know what I mean? Like the rotation games and stuff like that. or you just use your remote to move shit.
Trials Rising Standard Edition on the Nintendo Switch is $20 digital download and has better graphics and more to do than that game would than Evel Knievel would ever give you.
It's a similar like tilting balance.
Well,
game.
That's what I was saying earlier when I said Trials HD came out in 2009. That's the modern big game that does what that does.
Gotcha.
That's clearly an attempt to capitalize on some of the popularity of Trials HD. Just a physics racer.
$15. The fucking balls. The balls to charge $15 for Evel Knievel.
I want to play some Trials.
It's a free mobile game that came out several years ago.
That's a real good that's a great thing to say about your game when it makes people want to play a different version of your game.
People said that about Shark. There was a 3 or 4 other
Feeding Frenzy is the Microsoft one that was free.
I don't advertise it much. Check out the Path to the NES Punk video I did that reviewed Shark. I almost forgot I did that one like 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, it's a fun one.
Oh, it's one you actually saw. Mm-hmm. Ian tells me 3 years later he saw a video. So, all right, anything else on this, or is this just like? I don't want to say we told you so on this. Obviously, this is not.
I won't. I'm beyond that. I was just happy to have a reason to talk about Amico for a full topic again. It's like the good old days.
Sure,
but this has gone exactly how we thought it would go every step of the way.
Ian wouldn't want me to ask AI if we were right, but you could do that.
I wouldn't.
Let's just say I did.
Don't contribute to the dumbing down of society.